What's going on, y'all? It's your boy No Credit, back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. In boxing, people like to say you're only as good as your last fight. Does that apply to everybody? I want to raise a question. I want you guys to interact with me for a second. Does that apply to everybody? You're only as good as your last fight. I hear who be coming up with these phrases. Weight classes are there for a reason. You're only as good as your last fight. Like these boxing phrases. Who comes up with these phrases? Somebody let me know in the comment section. So, the reason why I'm saying that is we seen how spectacular Bud Crawford looked against Errol Spence. Well, not Errol Spence. Canelo Alvarez. But a lot of people didn't think he looked good against Israel Madrimov. Right? A lot of people thought, strangely, some people thought he lost the fight to Madrimov. It was like Crawford lost that fight to Madrimov. I was like, what the freak were you watching? It was kind of competitive. Madrimov landed some good right hands. But did he do enough to win? Absolutely not. Madrimov threw like 200 punches in the whole fight. In a 12-round fight, the man threw 200 punches, bro. How can you win a fight throwing 200 punches, bro? And not landing like you're supposed to. He got outthrown, he got outlanded in almost every single round. He won some rounds in there, but not enough like you guys are saying. Maybe a little bit more than Canelo, maybe like 3-4 rounds. I had Canelo winning 2 rounds, to be honest. Maybe Madrimov did like 4 rounds. I'll give Madrimov, I saw the fight 8-4. Crawford 8-4. Canelo fight was like 10-2 in my opinion. But anyway, people always say you're only as good as your last fight. You're only as good as your last fight. Well, Canelo looked like shit in his last fight. Maybe it applies to guys like Canelo. Canelo looked like shit in his last fight versus William Skull and Terence Crawford. I didn't think he looked bad, but people think he looked bad. I thought he looked alright. Maybe he didn't step on the gas early enough for people like him, but he controlled the fight. He made it an easy fight, an easy night. And when he had to dig down, he did in the championship rounds. When he stepped to Madrimov had no answer for him. But people were just mad he did that in the later rounds. They wanted him to do that in the early rounds. It is what it is. So, because of that fight, it fooled a lot of boxing fans and a lot of boxing pundits. And they picked Canelo to beat Bud because of the Madrimov fight. They said, man, he looked so bad against Madrimov. Imagine what Canelo Alvarez is going to do to him. Yeah, we seen a fight with Canelo versus William Skull. A guy who is way more unknown than Israel Madrimov. But he's a boxer. He's a boxer. You know, he ain't no Terence Crawford, but he's a boxer. And Canelo struggled with that guy. And Israel Madrimov and Canelo are not the same type of fighters. So it's a totally different story with Crawford's situation. But we know William Skull is a slick boxer. And Canelo's struggling with a low-level, slow, slick... I won't say slow. A low-level, slick boxer. What do you think what's going to happen when he fights a higher pound-for-pound talent type of boxer in Bud Crawford? What did you guys think was going to happen? I mean, the writing was on the wall. You understand what I'm saying? But with the Terence Crawford and Madrimov fight, you're looking at the opponent. You're not looking at the style. When it comes to boxing, don't look at the opponent. Look at the style. You understand what I'm saying? Don't look at the opponent. Don't look at the names. Don't look at who that guy beat. Look at the styles. Because at the end of the day, Don't look at the resume. Don't look at the record. Look at the styles. Do you understand what I'm saying? And styles make fights. And Madrimov's style give Crawford some trouble. I'll give you guys that. But not enough to win. He didn't do enough to win. Throwing 200 punches in a 12-round fight, landing less punches. That's not winning a fight, guys. That's not winning a fight. That's making it somewhat competitive. But winning, no, you didn't do enough to keep your belt. In the championship rounds, when it mattered the most, Bud Crawford stepped on the gas and went straight at Israel Madrimov and tried to take his head off. And if that fight had 1 or 2 more rounds, Madrimov would have been knocked out. Just like Canelo Alvarez would have been knocked out if that fight had 1 or 2 more rounds. So, I want to ask you guys again, who came up with "you're only as good as your last fight"? Because according to you boxing fans, Bud Crawford looked like shit against Madrimov. He was supposed to look like shit against Canelo Alvarez. Or that only applies to certain fighters. Huh? Do that only apply to certain fighters? It don't apply to the very special ones? I just want to figure out, what are you guys talking about when y'all say you only as good as your last fight? When y'all really should only really be saying styles make fights. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, but it is what it is. It's boxing. We're all here to learn. I'm eager to learn. If you're going to teach me something, educate me on the sport. We all here trying to learn, And hopefully a lot of y'all learn from y'all mistakes. So going into these big fights, you don't make the same mistakes again. Next time not to go against a guy who feeds off of when people go against him. He wants to prove everybody wrong. And the crazy thing about that, what I like what you guys be saying that cracks me up, y'all say, man, Crawford, he got too much heart. That's going to get him in trouble. He like to fight. When he gets hit, he want to fight. That's actually beneficial to him. You guys always talk about that. Y'all said the same thing going into the Earl Spence fight. When he gets hit, he wanted to get his get back. You're supposed to get your get back. You see, this is why you guys don't know boxing. You always be first and you always be last. So if the guy hit you first, that means you wasn't first. He got to you first. So don't let him be last. So now you got to get to him. So Crawford's not wrong for trying to get his get back, because in boxing the rules are always be first and always be last. It is what it is. Your boy No Credit, I'm out.